Let no man pull you low enough to hate him. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining me for another episode of Bitcoin and Coffee. I'll be your host, Eugene Forrest. So what are we looking at today with these crazy cryptocurrency markets? Well, look like red. Look like quite a bit of red. I don't know. Is that really all that disappointing, though? Because it seems like 6.4 is where we keep ending up here with the price of Bitcoin. And I know that things like technical analysis tells us the more we hit it, the more likely we are to break through it. But people seem to be a lot more optimistic that we're not going to go as low as $5,000 as we've heard before. You know, what are my personal stance on it? It's always rough to have to get out there and make a call on something like that. I mean, it's still shake that magic 8 ball as far as I know. I've been in the space for 2 years, and every time I think I know what Bitcoin's about to do, I mean, it jacks a hard left and does something completely unexpected. That's why I don't necessarily get out there and try to ever short Bitcoin or trade against it. Just as soon as you think you figured out what Bitcoin's going to do and how you're ahead of the game, you're not. You know what I mean? So we're still seeing some BTC dominance, climbing up as we're watching the altcoins falling a little harder. So let's go ahead and see if we can't take a look at that. But you know what I got for a nice treat for you guys? We got Samantha here in a cheerful mood today.
Good morning, everyone.
She's having to go off to work, and she was called in, and she's not super happy about it.
4 hours. What the hell? 4 hours.
Don't you love it when you think you're going to do something and the man tells you you're going to do something different?
I mean, I'm like going to make $30-something or something. It's just stupid.
Well, I always say that when you sell your time for money, you're never going to be a rich man. I mean, you got a very limited amount of time out there. So would you mind pulling up one of those screen share things so that I guess we go ahead and take a look at this all together as a group?
As a group.
Well, I mean, I keep hearing people talk about how we should be using a different indicator here, but at the same time, I keep telling everybody that I'm really here for my free help desk and to help, new people getting into the space. And unfortunately, that's why I always have to come back to CoinMarketCap and I have to talk about Coinbase, because these are the places where new people start off. When you've been in the space for a while, yes, there are better things. There are other indicators to look at that may have a less manipulation possibly happening behind the scenes. But, when it comes right down to it, everything is speculated to be manipulated in some way or another here in the cryptocurrency space. And look, Samantha, lo and behold, we have 1,993 coins for our, cryptocurrency counter here.
It's going to be 2,000.
Yeah, you called that one right on the spot there. I'm going to have to take you to Vegas. We got our market cap still holding out on the other side of $200 billion. That's a big plus there that we're still continuing to see some support there. Don't necessarily want to see that market cap get below 200 again, because like I said, technical analysis leads us to believe that the more times you come down and hit, a spot on the chart or whatever with these candlesticks, the more likely you are to break through it. We've already seen us drop below 200 billion at one point. So, all right, here we go. BTC dominance, 53.9%. At least that's a plus there, because we're definitely seeing these altcoins falling in double digits as we're looking at Bitcoin right now at $6,418. That's down only 2.8%. Really not all that bad. I mean, we were looking at what, 2.7 yesterday, or I mean 6.7 yesterday.
6.7, yeah.
So here we are. We got Ethereum coming back down to that $200 mark, 206. That's down 11.6%. We got XRapid coming in at 44 cents. That's still up, considering that we had seen 25 cents, not that long ago. What, a week and a half ago? Yeah. That's down 15.5% there. We got Bitcoin Cash, $436. That's down 6.8%. We got EOS dropping back down, hitting that $5.14 mark. That's down 9.8%. It's always hard to say what to do, because, if you go against the crowd, that's when you make your money. Is it going to be all bouncing back up and we're going to see, double-digit greens in the next 2 days or possibly this weekend? See, that's why you can't ever tell with these cryptocurrencies. That's why you have to find solid projects that if you're going to be putting any of your money in it. One of the other things to do is to get out there and see if you can just earn cryptocurrency. I always like to tell people to do that if you can. I think that's going to be one of the next big things in the market, is to start earning these digital assets. All right, where are we? Stellars, 23 cents. That's down 9.9%. Litecoin, $54.81, right under that $55 mark. That's down 5.3%. Let's see. Cardano, 7.5 cents. That's down 10.5. Let's get down here and see what we got going on with Steam. 91 cents, up 6.7%. Nice. All right, let's take a look at the Steam back dollar. Steam back dollar. 98.9 cents. Not too bad. I mean, I guess that really doesn't help us much with our indicator because it was telling us yesterday that our price was spot on, and here we are still looking at the price barely dropping a little bit, down only 1.23%. So, all right. As I do every single episode, I got to keep plugging away this tally account. You know, I really want to get out there. I want to spread the word of Bitcoin. I try really hard with this channel to spread the word of Bitcoin. I like to tell everybody I meet face to face about Bitcoin. I figured, why not get out to one of these music festivals? Why not try to introduce Bitcoin to some people that actually might be very receptive to, you know, receiving this information and understanding that the future is digital and that Bitcoin is the people's best chance at having their own money instead of falling into some sort of centralized cryptocurrency that's just going to be used by the government against us. All right. So what do we got? We got $369. It's getting us 61% of the way there. I mean, I still got my fingers crossed that the price of Bitcoin is going to jump up and help make it all happen, but I probably am going to have to lean on you guys to, you know, throw a couple dollars in here. I've been trying to think of it as like carbon offsets, but for crypto, I mean, I know that you guys are real busy. I know it's hard to take time away from, you know, your busy schedules. And then if you do, you know, you're going to want to spend it with your family. Trust me, I'm the same way. So getting out there and spreading the word of Bitcoin in this kind of fashion is going to be quite the effort, but I would love to do it. I like to do legwork. I love to do this kind of stuff. And I'm taking my family with me, right, Samantha?
Yes, workcation.
Workcation. All right, you guys. So let's stop begging for money because I hate doing that. And let's see what we got going on here. Let's go ahead and pop out the chat so Samantha will have some people to communicate with. You know, every single morning I just get out here and I think, man, I love the way the air feels this early in the morning when you're out here and the sun's just starting to come up through the woods. If it could only just stay like this all day, the whole thing is optimism. I mean, anything could happen today as far as I'm concerned. I always feel bright and positive towards the day. It really, you know, it's towards the end of the day and everyone's been stupid and messed me up that it's like, I just want to go to bed.
And this is done. We have Silent Lamb. We have Tech Lord.
Nice. Hey, guys, how's it going? Thanks for having a cup of coffee with me. I really appreciate it. That way I don't feel so crazy when I'm out here talking about this magical internet money.
We have Andy Anderson. And we have
Awesome.
Cornelius.
Awesome. Cornelius, I haven't seen you in a minute, buddy. I'm glad you can make it out here for a live episode. I know you've been watching the reruns. All right. So what do we got going on with the news today? Well, let's start off with some silly news as far as I'm concerned. Talking about the Pax stablecoin. We got people discussing about how there's a back door there. And it's like, how did you not expect that one? I mean, we just had, right after the Gemini coin came out, we were talking about how there was a backdoor there, how they could, you know, freeze or take your funds or whatever, you know, if the law required them to, or if there was some sort of a hack or anything like that. Well, now we're looking at the same kind of stuff coming out about Paxel, the stable coin. It's listed over at Binance. The New York, you know, whatever you want to call them. I forget what they're really called. That New York association group there that's putting out that you have to get their certification in order to do anything with crypto in the state of New York. I mean, they're not going to be approving anybody unless there's these kinds of backdoor situations where you couldn't use the funds in any sort of an illegal fashion. You know, they're going to want backdoors so that they can, you know, freeze and I guess retrieve funds or whatever if something were to happen, or if you were to not pay your taxes or whatever. So, you know, moving forward in the cryptocurrency space, you kind of have to anticipate that this is just how it's going to be with any sort of a stable coin. But, you know, for me and you, most likely, these stable coins, they're just, it's another aspect here in the cryptocurrency space that we got to keep our eye on, but it doesn't really concern us all that much because we're not necessarily out there day trading. And that's usually when you use the stable coins, unless for some reason you thought that Bitcoin's price was going to drop down over the next month and you tried to hop into a stable coin so you don't have to pay any taxes. But, you know, I never bet against Bitcoin because, like I was saying in the beginning, every time I think I'm somewhat smarter than what the market's going to do, it turns around and bites me right in the rear and shows me that, you know, it's going to do what it wants to do and not what I need and or want it to do.
We also have Giles Willis here now. He says, yay for coffee and Bitcoin.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for joining us out here. So what do you think, Samantha? Stable coins here to stay for sure,
yes.
right?
Yes, because it's another one of the master dumb plan. Like, you know, that's how we onboard all the dumb people. It does suck because, yes, I don't think we really need it. I mean, what, you just need to stay in limbo at all exchanges at all times? Like, you know, but it is what it is.
I mean, as long as there is a cryptocurrency and fiat type of pairing, and the instability is going to be there. Until we see mass adoption and people are capable of going to the store and buying their bread, milk, and eggs and stuff with, you know, a majority or 2 or 3 of these cryptocurrencies, you're going to see instability. And as long as there's instability, then you're going to need these stable coins. Nobody wants to lose, you know what I mean? So they always think that there's going to be some way to make an advantage, and then people are going to offer them these so-called advantages at fees so that they can profit. I mean, it's just how the market works. It's just how these, you know, financial mechanisms go about making capital and gain. So where there's a need, you know, will the way, the whole kind of stuff like that. So, all right, let's get moving on here with this. Stable coins, boring as far as I'm concerned. I hate talking about them all the time. But once again, everybody is obsessed with all of these different things.
Well, now there's a lot of them.
I mean, I've never touched Tether, and I know that there's like a couple dozen different stable coins out there now, and I've never touched any of them. I really don't have much need to. But like I said, I don't trade. So every time I've tried that, I usually don't win.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think you've had anything that's actually, no. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Okay. Well, moving on to the next story. You thought that this one was funny because we came up with our thumbnail and title last night from Bill and Ted's. Well, actually, the photo was from Bogus Adventures, but the slogan was for the title was from the first one. From the first one. Excellent Adventures.
Yes.
But here we go with some convenience store news in Taiwan. They're considering letting people buy cryptocurrency like over the counter at a convenience store. Big plus there. They're talking about, you know, that you can do this with certain risk control management. We're seeing this out of the Financial Supervising Commission, the FSC. So, I mean, this is kind of cool. They're talking about different amounts, though. I guess that's where the debate is still lying. They're saying up to as much as $3,250. That'd be a big plus to see that kind of a number, or as much as $652 is what they could be looking at the low end. So, I mean, that's still
a lot of, I mean,
here in the U.S., what, it's $1,500 or $2,000 that you can go ahead and do without having, you know, red flags popping up and people saying, "Where's your ID?"
I mean, like, out of like banks, it's under 10,000. You have to stay under 10, otherwise.
I mean, if you wanted to go somewhere and send a Western Union,
it's like 25. Yeah, you have to stay under like 25,000 or 2,500.
2,500.
Yeah, otherwise you have to start doing like you have to start showing licenses and.
But proving. All right, so I mean, we all know that when it comes to Asia and all of these different countries over there, they're like at the forefront of this stuff. They're really embracing it. You know, I mean, it seems like, you know, we see the prices pump up first there at the exchange because they're excited. You know, they talk about maybe that their populations aren't necessarily capable of handling the financial responsibility that comes along with these kinds of markets. I've seen that as the downside of the conversation. But, I mean, this is what we want, though. I mean, I would love to be able to just go into the Circle K and purchase some Bitcoin or some Ethereum or some Dash or some Litecoin. Yeah, that'd be nice, right? Go into a 7-Eleven, put $50 in and get some Litecoin. Well, right now almost a full Litecoin.
Yeah, I mean, it would be pretty cool. Go get your Slurpee and your Dogecoin. You know, you're whatever.
I mean, I see here in America, they wouldn't want something like that because, you know, here in America, they want you to take whatever's left over at the end of your paycheck and they want you to go buy things on sale and think that you're saving money instead of going out and buying assets, you know, things that are going to make you money, things that are going to help you down the road, things that are, you know, profitable. Instead of just, oh, I have, you know, this giant roll of toilet paper and all of these, you know, cupboard full of soaps and shampoo. And I bought this brand new bed, even though I didn't need the last one because it was on sale for $400 less. You know, I've heard people say things like that they justify buying stuff that they don't need because the price is so cheap. Well, I mean, the whole price, as far as I'm concerned, is extravagant if you didn't need it in the first place. You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So, you know, it's always, where is your mindset? And it's, I do see commercials and the way the public education system is and the way that, you know, the common mindset is geared towards, oh, buy it because it's on sale, not go out and buy, you know, stocks or bonds or, you know, something that's going to, you know, cash out later and have value. It's always to buy things on sale.
Oh, and most of the stuff is very disposable.
Or is to go out and buy things that are beyond your own means so that you end up having to like give up your whole paycheck in order to cover, you know, the gas and the auto insurance and the liability and things that go along with it. I also love the rent-a-center like philosophy. I have no idea why anybody ever does that. I always think it's the most ridiculous thing when I hear people that tell me they went to a Buddy's or an Aaron's or something like that and got furniture and they're like saying how they are paying all this money every single month. It's like, the furniture is going to be completely destroyed by your children and animals before you're done paying that thing off for sure.
And you're paying like 6 times more. Oh, JT Irby is here now. He says, morning, everyone.
Nice. Good morning, buddy. I'm glad you can make it out here.
2 days in a row.
Awesome. Awesome.
This is the butt crack of dawn. So.
I don't know. I was thinking about maybe taking tomorrow off still. What are you thinking, Samantha? I know you're the one that like is like, I have to get up, don't I? And I'm like, well, you're part of the show, aren't you?
It was a lot easier when I was just the one hitting the buttons and no one heard me. It's like, I don't feel good. I can't. I don't know.
All right. So the last one, the kind of bigger story here, you know, I still have very mixed feelings about this one, and I'm not necessarily sure how to feel about it. Talking about the Bitcoin bug, you know, it was talked about. It was said that, you know, you had to be a big player. Nobody used it. They can prove now that nobody actually used this bug, but you could have supposedly created Bitcoin and inflated the 21 million or I don't know. I mean, they talk about it. It's supposedly very complicated. I still don't know if I understand it 100% completely, but I'm not a programmer, so I guess I'm not necessarily supposed to understand this. But what I didn't like is how they're talking about that they've known about this for a little while, that for the last 2 years, this was a possibility.
That they could have been keeping it secret. And,
yeah, that it could have been a little bit hush-hush until they were able, but they patched it. So it's just that when it comes to cryptocurrency, I don't feel that Bitcoin is the same as Ethereum or EOS or Tron or Trezos or whatever, Tezos, any of these other cryptocurrencies, because if they have a problem and they need a patch, it's all whatever. You know, that's why they're out here fly by night, willy-nilly kind of stuff. You know, that's to be expected. We do not expect this stuff with Bitcoin. We try to like to think that, hey, they did all of that stuff years ago before I got into Bitcoin. It's all fixed now. It's all good to go. We got Lightning. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're saying if you go and talk to different people, they're saying that this is kind of a big deal. You know, it's that Bitcoin needs more testing done on it. But then the problem is how do we go about getting this testing done? Not just anybody's qualified to be able to actually do testing that's, you know, worthwhile. You know, you want somebody who has the expertise and, you know, the skill level to actually look at Bitcoin and start, you know, trying to find these possible bugs that would come into the future. You know, I mean, Bitcoin is tested all the time. Bitcoin has been tested a lot. I don't, you know, it's just that oh, hey, turkeys, what's up? It's just that when it comes to stuff like this, it's, it's to let you know that I guess there's no 100% guarantee in anything. And this is just one of those little reminders to let you know that, Bitcoin isn't 100% solid yet, that there is still room for advancement. And along with room for advancement, there's also room for errors to still potentially be in the code, because code is law, and whatever the code says is true.
Yes, and I mean, Satoshi is not God. I don't know. Okay, well, whatever. There's a horrible lots of theories, but I mean, this was made by one man or men and people, so
it's
there's
also
always
can
be mistakes. Yes, and like all of these, yes, like the core developers, and I mean, somebody could make a mistake somewhere in there, and as soon as they do, then it's reproducing like cancer every time and carried on.
I don't know. I mean, one of the core developers was saying, to not just brush this off. And it is a situation of, all of these other coins that we talk about have development teams behind them. They have, something and someone pushing along to make the code better, to make sure that these bugs are found and fixed. Where, Bitcoin is a volunteer service.
Yeah.
It is Greenpeace of the money world. You have to volunteer your own time, your own energy. You have to, and just like we were saying at the beginning here, you trade your time for money.
Yeah.
So when you're giving your time to Bitcoin, I mean, you're getting. See, it goes real deep. It's multiple layers. When you're giving your time to Bitcoin, I mean, you're helping Bitcoin, which is great, and you're fighting for a cause, but you're also taking that time away from the time to go to work, and unless you are lucky enough to have one of those good jobs that pay you $15, $18, $20, $30, $45 an hour, where you're not having any financial struggle, and you're able to, let me cut back and I'll do 30 hours this week and I'll donate a little time towards the cause. You're not finding any time to devote towards the cause, because if you're looking at making, $15 or under an hour, then the struggle's real. You're always constantly trying to keep your head above water financially. You're always, if there's overtime available, you're more than likely taking it, and then when you come home, you're trying, you're working 40 hours at least, if not more. Then you come home, you're trying to spend time with your family. You got all the repairs that always have to be done around the house, the other things that take your time and attention. Where's the time to put it in on Bitcoin? I mean, what are you doing? You're just reaping the benefits of, owning Bitcoin or having Bitcoin out there. So some of these big corporations and companies that are using Bitcoin, they already sometimes help put a developer on the core team or pay or this or that, donating money, but more needs to be done. I feel that as we move forward, everybody and every company and everyone in the space has to start giving of themselves a little bit to Bitcoin if you really truly do believe in this and you think that it's going to be the currency of the future. You can't make something out of nothing.
Yes, I mean, I don't know. The flip side of it is like how everybody says that. I mean, Bitcoin is different than every other coin and every other ICO and everything, because there is no one. There is no marketing. There is no development. There is no team that is a team of anybody that's actually there pushing it, doing stuff for it. It is sad, but yes, it is. It is the charity coin of like, you have to do it yourself. And I don't know. It's double-sided, because it's like, it is like, that is also the downfall. We are not united. We are not, I mean, how long did it freaking take to come to consensus? Are you kidding me? But like, that it is not all the same. Like, we are not together, and no one is saying, okay, this person is in charge of, development, and this person's in charge of advertising, and this person's no one has any real titles or real.
But we're talking about a concept that I've never seen in history. We're talking about uniting people without a figurehead.
Yes, like some weird United Nations crap. Like somehow everybody just gets together and we all just make rules and there is no leader. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, to me, it always feels like there's situations in existence, as you live your life, everybody knows what's right and wrong. You don't have to be told that murder is wrong. You don't have to be told that taking something that belongs to you is wrong. You just know these things. And I think that really, when it comes down to finances, it's the same thing. It's just that everybody, like, greed blinds a lot of people or whatever, to where you try to justify.
Yes.
Where you try to
excuses
and reasoning and calling something a gray area. I mean, it is very simple. It is that you produce goods and services in exchange for money. You don't make red tape. You don't rent seek. You don't manipulate prices of things to profit off of the top. But that is a majority of what you see in the world. That's a majority of what you see in America. I mean, I couldn't tell you about how many people I've come across where they go out and they buy an automobile and they do absolutely nothing to it besides wash it, and then they put it back out front for sale for $500 or $600 more. I mean, they did nothing. Why do they deserve that $500 or $600? Because they're going to exploit somebody else. You know, and it's just simple things like this. I guess maybe those are some of the things that have held me back, is that, you know, when I said I flipped some vehicles and stuff, I bought broken vehicles, made fundamental repairs like transmissions and radiators and stuff like that. So I put my time and energy and effort into it, and then charged for my effort that I had put into the vehicle. So I never felt like I was robbing anybody or cheating. You know, some people have values. Some people are, you know, me. And it's stuff like this that's, you know, getting brought into the cryptocurrency space. And I think that if a lot of people just started giving more of themselves, that you would see Bitcoin advancing a lot further. I don't know. I'm one of those kinds of people that give of myself. That's why I come out here, I make a YouTube video, I offer a free help desk, because, you know, I heard the call, I answered the call. I said, you know, Bitcoin isn't going to promote itself. I need to get out here and do my part. I guess I just, you know, I've come along enough with understanding Bitcoin that I see that everybody, you know, I'm trying to push. Everybody has to kind of get out here and do a little bit. You know, if we all do just a little bit, it's easier. You know, it's easier on everybody to be able to get out here and help change the way the world sees Bitcoin. And it's not just some magical internet money that goes up and down in values and people buy Lambos with it.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a means to an end, because yes, everybody wants to see that, you know, $1 million Bitcoin or whatever. How do you think we're getting that? Like, how do you think we're getting to that? The traders that just trade it every day, or other, no, like, why would they add value to the market? How are they getting it all the way? It's that you have, I don't know how you do nonprofit crap, but it's that kind of stuff. Like, and then yes, the real problem is that there is no head. There is no person at the top.
Right. There's nobody to help assign and say, okay, well, you 100 people, you're going to be in charge of marketing. You 100 people start getting in the courts and lobbying and fighting for the law. You 100 people start getting towards making sure that the code is developing towards scaling. You guys, you know, back check everything for bugs. You guys start developing, you know, user interfaces so that the masses can start using this with simple touch buttons that they can't mess up. You know, there is nobody pointing everybody in these directions. I mean, these things are all being worked on, but it's being slowly worked on because there is not necessarily funding and development behind it as much as you see in a lot of these other, you know, cryptocurrency projects where there are these centralized figures or consensus mechanisms.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a complicated situation, and I mean, I believe that it'll happen. I believe that this is just why it's slow going, and this is why you keep seeing a lot of people get discouraged in Bitcoin. They think that they're going to go out there and make another Bitcoin, or they stop rooting for Bitcoin and they go root for another coin because they're frustrated. You know, they've banged their head against Bitcoin too long, and no matter what they did, they weren't able to push this rock up the hill. You know, I mean, it's hard to feel like you're making headway here in Bitcoin when you're out, you know, trying to promote it and fix it and do all these different things or program on it, and nothing changes. But part of why Bitcoin is what Bitcoin is, it doesn't change. Damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Yeah.
I mean, it will change. It's just going to take a long time. You know, my biggest fears is that something horrible could happen in the market, like a big bug, like, you know, we're talking here. If we didn't have all these other altcoins, you know, having bugs before this, we wouldn't be so all right with this. I think that this would have been bigger news a year ago, which definitely would have crashed the price of Bitcoin a lot further than what we're seeing now. But I think that something like this potentially happening in a year or two from now could ultimately set cryptocurrency back, maybe even like a whole generation. I mean, if Bitcoin crashed next year, I mean, what would that do for cryptocurrency? I mean, I would definitely put another 10 to 15 to 20 years on the life expectancy towards mass adoption, for sure.
I don't want to think about that.
All right, let's all be positive. Let's be happy. Bitcoin is here to stay. We're definitely going upwards. We got our fingers crossed for 2019 in the beginning. Maybe we'll get some sort of ETF. You know, maybe we'll see that Bakkt exchange, and what Fidelity's working on one now. I mean, the halvening's coming up and getting closer and closer. So we still got a lot of positive things to look forward to. Lightning Network is developing faster and faster. So, I mean, that's going to be the future. It's just that you got to keep your eyes open. Like I'm saying, the horizon's a big span. I mean, we got EOS on one end, and we got possible Bitcoin bugs on the other. I mean, what, Bitcoin was up 15% for no reason out of anywhere yesterday. So, I mean, the cryptocurrency market is a wild, crazy place. You just got to keep your eye on it and try only to make smart moves. All right. As always, guys, I got all kinds of tools, links, and affiliation codes listed down there below for you guys to check out. I've been going on all kinds of social media platforms. If you haven't come and followed me on Twitter, links down there for that. You got to come follow me on Twitter. I'm getting real close to that 1,200 mark, Samantha.
Yay.
Signed up on Tribes. I think I have like 1,200 tokens already. That is amazing. It's a big plus there. So come on over there. I got a link for that one down below to go sign up and check that one out. I mean, that one's brand new. So now is definitely the time to get that first mover advantage if you want to get over there and start collecting these cryptocurrency coins. Because, I mean, they're talking about an airdrop coming up and all kinds of stuff. Let's see what else we got going on. Probably not going to be here tomorrow for an episode. Nobody really seems to watch the Wednesday ones anyways, and we went hard at it this weekend and Saturday and Sunday. So we'll be back here Thursday morning, 7:45 Eastern Standard Time. Talk to Fundy AU. He was talking about maybe coming out for a guest spot, so hopefully we'll see our good Australian friend here real soon.
Yay.
What else we got? Well, we got our weekend show coming up regardless of anybody coming or not. Live Q&A. I mean, you know, come check that one out. We definitely do that one later on in the day. So if you're in California, so thank you for making it, JT Irving. But if you can't get up at like 3:30 in the morning just to watch me, we'll have those later episodes on the weekend in order for you to keep watching. All right, you guys. Got those donational addresses. Come on over to Steam it. Donate to the EDC fund. But most off, you guys, go out, try to make the most of today. And remember, keep your BTC safe.
Bye, guys.